Okay. All right. Says we were live. I should have turned my fan down one notch. Anyway, hello. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Um, Hopefully, we are going to have a great day today. Get set up for next week. Get some things done productivity-wise or writing-wise today. Hopefully, you have some coffee or some tea or something hydrating. So cheers. It's double digits of November, which I know for like those of us who are like pedal to the metal, we're going to get stuff done about the double digits day. Somewhere between the 10th and the 15th, there's usually like a crash in motivation and go, go, go. At least for me. I don't know about you, but for me, there seems to be like a little bit of a crash. So we're going to hopefully plan to get over that hump. That's hopefully what we're going to do. But yeah, so hello, welcome. I have not done anything productive yet today. I mean, I did have lunch, so there's that. But I haven't put up my laundry. It's sitting in a basket on my bed. I haven't checked in with my bullet journal. I haven't cleaned my desk. I haven't done anything productive today. So hopefully by the end of the sprint, I will have at least like checked in with a couple of things, hopefully gotten some words or some planning, outlining for this next week's sessions in terms of the things that I want to write. Because I'm trying that last week and this week, and I don't know if it's helping or not. Sort of like doing the outlining on Sunday and then like having that outline to follow in the week. I haven't been doing it long enough to know if that's going to be a viable long-term thing, but it is a thing that I am attempting, at least for this second week. And then if I don't see much help or goodness to it, then I will knock it off, because last week's word counts were not as good as I hoped. So if that continues for the second week, then this is sort of like an abysmal failure of an experiment. So we shall see. Anyway, I did create some new timers. So 2 sweater weather timers with sweater ladies, 1 and 2. One's 25 minutes, one is 30 minutes. They both have very like chill lo-fi music that is from the YouTube library. But it was like you had to put the accreditation in the description. So I did that. So hopefully they are good. So these most recent ones, the sweater weather lady ones, I don't know if you use them in a stream. I don't know if you have to also have the accreditation in your description. So that may be something that, like, if you're thinking about using them for your own streams, that may be something, but it's in the YouTube library. So if you want to use it, use the track, that's fine. But yeah, that may be something to sort of like be careful of in that regards for those 2 videos. So there you go. Megan says, hello. I'm working on homework today. Big surprise. In English, we're learning about Willa Cather or Cather. I'm not sure how you pronounce it actually, which is fascinating, but your peers' responses, not so much. Yes. So you're doing mostly online, is that correct? I'm trying to remember because but yeah, my Antonia, I remember being one of her titles, and I remember we read it in one of my AP classes and I think it would have been 11th grade, because that was American Lit. So you haven't read that book yet, and you're not sure if we plan to. We might just be learning about the author. Interesting. Like, well, hopefully you would have like snippets at least of some of the some of her more well-known books, because otherwise, like, what's the point if you don't have any context? I feel like that's weird. I don't know. Also, like, I've got a mosquito scab that's under my eyebrow, and that's annoying. Anyway, sorry. I'm just gonna sit here and scratch at that. Anyway, I want to say there was another book by this author that was also supposed to be like a really good Song of Wren? No. Song of Lark, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, maybe somebody else recognized it. Jay and Sweet, hello everybody. Hello, welcome. Welcome, welcome. And Nikki is here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Cool Gamer is here. Hi, welcome. Cather, not Cather. Okay, so Cather. At least that's how they pronounced it in the document you watched. Gotcha. Yeah, most of your classes are online. One class is in person, and that's art history. Gotcha. She has several novels that are supposed to be excellent. Yeah, yeah. But I remember, I think we only read My Antonia. We heard about some of the others. Song of the Lark. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was there was that for sure. So we didn't read Song of the Lark, but we talked about it briefly, I think. Oh, it's been a long time. It feels like it's been a very long time. Okay, so my goal is to get my bullet journal addressed for next week, and also catch up for the last 3 days, because I didn't do much of anything for logging over the last 3 days, so I need to go back and sort of like post log things, and then I need to put in some things that need to get accomplished next week. So like, I know my parents have to go in and get their B12 shots and their vaccine boosters. If the doctors have it, they'll get it at the same time. Otherwise, I'll have to schedule an appointment at like the pharmacy. So things like that. Yeah. And also like a very large reminder for myself to sweep the house. I have not done it yet this week. And we were doing laundry yesterday, and our dryer is really, really bad about putting lint out everywhere. Like, we have a lint trap, but it's the kind where like you pull the lint trap out, as you should, and clean it out, but it just gets dust everywhere. And so like, if we start doing laundry, there's no point in sweeping until after all the laundry is done, because it's just going to get lint everywhere. So I always feel like I sweep either right before or right after doing laundry. So I need to put a big reminder to myself to do sweeping either this evening or tomorrow. Things like that, just like household stuff. But it's like, it's stuff that I never really remember to do just like on its own. I'm like, oh, that's dusty, on my way to the restroom or on my way to the kitchen. And it's like, I should sweep. And then like, I don't do it. I'm terrible at self-disciplined household chores. They are not habits, and they are not innate by nature for me. So, but that's what the journal is for, is to write it down, make it a task, so I go and do it. So, Pamela, hello, welcome. You're working on a medical romance this month. Ooh, fun. Excellent. There are a couple of books that people have recommended for medical information for writers. One is Was it Blood on the Page? And then what's the other one? There's two. One is by a girl, one is by a guy. And I'm trying to remember what, because I think Blood on the Page is, and maybe it's Murder Between the Pages. I feel like that's wrong. But yeah. So there's like two main books for like writing medical trauma, I guess. And like how to write about it as a writer. But of course, I don't know your background, so you may have a medical background, so you may not need that, which would be great because then you wouldn't have to spend the extra money on it. But yeah, no, there are the two that I feel like are most frequently recommended are those two, and I wish I could remember their names properly, but maybe I have them written down in my recommended section. Of course, it may not be in this book. Yep, it's not in this book. So it's not in this year's bullet journal as the recommendation. So if you remember, body trauma. Okay, yes, body trauma, A Writer's Guide to Wounds, and something else. You don't remember the rest of the title. Do I have it? I do not have it in the top of the writing shelf that's revealed. It could be buried under other things, but yeah. Turns out you are reading My Antonia. I just didn't see it in the module at first glance. Whoopsies. That's fine. Yeah. You feel that you vacuumed today and took out the trash and did the dishes, and it definitely feels all unnatural. I do not like chores at all, right? Yeah, and it also, like, things like taking out the trash, like, to the street or whatever, that never feels, at the moment, that does not feel innate because they swapped our day. We've been in this house for, I think 5 years now. And so for all of that time, it was a Friday pickup, which meant that we put it out Thursday evening. They changed that right before the two major hurricanes, because their workers, fair enough, wanted to get off at a more reasonable time on Friday. So they were going to do some of Friday's stops on Thursday. And so I was like, okay, great. But that means that now we have to go put it out on Wednesday night. And it's like, so I've been having to write it on the big calendar in the kitchen and in my bullet journal to remember, because it's been so like, oh, it's Thursday night. We got to clean out the fridge and do the trash around the house to send out to but no, now it's Wednesday. So I'm like, Jam says, thanks for the reference guide. Someday I'd like to write a medical romance, but I don't currently have the bandwidth for all the research. Right. And this is like one of the things, okay, so body trauma is one, and I want to say Blood Between the Pages is the other, or Blood on the Pages. Okay, that's not it either. Okay, I'm going to have to find out what they are. And maybe I'll just look through the recommendations that people have already sent me, because maybe it's in there. I don't remember. So I will find them, and I will provide the links for them if I can. But yeah, it's definitely, because I remember looking at one and going like, oh yeah, this is telling you like if somebody has really sprained their ankle, like how long is it physically before they're supposed to be not hobbling around. So if you have a character that like sprains their ankle and it's a severe sprain, like they should not be then chasing after, the spy, through an alleyway and up a up 10 flights of stairs to rescue the damsel in distress on the edge of the rooftop held by the villain or whatever. Like, things like that. So like medically accurate, like how long should it be before they would be able to do that? That way you don't like jolt people out of the suspension of disbelief, that kind of thing. Okay, so we also have our poll for today. And again, the poll is kind of general. I'm limited to 4 options. So if you have a specific writing rule, make sure I've got, here we go, the right one. You have a specific writing rule that you like to break that is not one of the 4, please just like pop it in the chat. Okay, so the question for today, the poll, is what is your favorite writing rule to break? Could be rule, could be guideline, could be just like advice that people have given you like time and time again. But things like sentence structure rules, things like, you shouldn't always use the said dialogue tag, or like don't use dialogue tags, they're annoying, or things like that. Things like don't include prologues, people don't read them. Passive versus active voice, that kind of thing. So what's your favorite thing to break? And I didn't have room for punctuation. Because punctuation is very important, but it could be that you like writing with a ton of questions, depending on how you are forming your characters. If there's somebody who's always speaking in questions, or if somebody's always really excited, do you want to use a lot of exclamation points? And there are people who are annoyed by that. So, but I could not put punctuation on there as well as other things, but maybe I should have put it instead of passive active. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so I think of these options, sentence structure rules, said/dialogue tags, prologues, and passive active voices, I think my most commonly broken one is sentence structure rules, because sometimes it's just necessary. And like, you also don't want to, if you're writing a really like silly kind of fun character who is just like very, hip. It's like probably not the right word, but if you're writing a cool character and they have a lot of colloquialisms in their speech patterns, there's no way that you're going to be writing with correct sentence structure rules all the time for that character. No way. And also, just the pacing of sentences is affected by the rules. And so generally it feels sometimes very stilted if you are always following the rules. So yeah, you got to break them sometimes, but you do have to know them. That's the thing. It's like you kind of have to know them to know when to break them. But yeah, that's my most commonly broken. It's like sentence structure rules. So do that all the time. So the books could come in handy for mysteries too. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So true. Until you have a sprain, you think it's no big deal, but they're often worse than the break pain-wise. Yeah. And because they don't like give you a splint for, or like a cast for a sprain usually. Like they may put you in a sling if it's like your arm or something, or like give you a compression boot or sock or something. They're like, just stay off it. You're working on a project. Love an interable working on a project. Love an interable relationship romance type book. Okay. All right. Lots of romance then today. Punctuation is your favorite. You wield your commas like spades or shotgun pellets. Yes. Yeah. So I probably should have put punctuation rather than like passive active voice, but yeah. You put /write your paragraphs how I like them to look. Is that breaking the rules? Not necessarily. No. So I mean, if you like a certain length of paragraph, that's fine. But it's like, every paragraph, especially if you were writing descriptive prose, it's like it's not going to have like a topic sentence, and then like 3 descriptors, and then a closing sentence type of thing. Like, so yeah, there are paragraph rules that we break all the time too. So yeah, not necessarily going to have those things, I should say. You can absolutely have those things, but not necessarily. But yeah, so that's kind of how I fall on the what's my favorite rule is the sentences. I do like a good prologue, so I am liable to put prologue. So I break that. I like using said as my dialogue tag because otherwise I will fall into the growled and whispered and smirked travesty of using everything but said for my dialogue tag. So I generally just stick with it. So yeah, that's me. So it's either like just plain said or like all the other options. And all of the other options get kind of annoying after some time. So I generally just stick with said. So, all right, we do need a card for today. We need a card. Ooh, we have the skunk. Cute little skunk. Know your worth. All right, it's number 54. 54. Okay, skunk. Know your worth. What do you value? What do you believe in? Is your best, most authentic self on display? The skunk comes as a reminder that you can be proud of who you are and what you have accomplished. Know your worth. Not everyone will agree with you or share your values, but you can walk with your head high. Knowing that when you express your integrity, others can feel your authenticity and will be inspired by it. Be who you are, and if your reputation precedes you, good. You have much to be proud of, and the skunk wants you to be your best self, the true you. So there is our lovely, cute little stinker machine. Got a little mask on. I can't quite get it to focus. Has like a little masquerade half mask situation. Must be going to a black tie event because I mean, black and white. Cute. Okay, so we have the new timers. So we're going to use they both have the same sort of chill lo-fi, so it's going to be the same audio for both of them. But here is the new sweater weather lady timer. Just sweater weather, but it's got a lady on it. So anyway, so you don't know what a sprained ankle feels like. You're in a wheelchair. Oh my, well, that's, yeah, that would be, I suppose, an advantage of never having to do the sprained ankle, sort of. But I feel like the payoff for that is a little severe. Oh, okay. So let's do this. 1, pull up your document, or go ahead and save it if you've already been working. 2, make sure that you have something to hydrate with. So cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back to that posture check. And 4, make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that took me a lot longer to do everything in my bullet journal than I like to admit. But I've gone through and I caught up with some of the stuff that I did the last 3 days. And then I went ahead and made some notes for next week. And then I've gotten like a textbook that I am wanting to like kind of speed read through. And so I just went and they have a suggested like way to chunk it, which averages about like 70-ish pages per chunk. So I'm like, do I just do like 70 pages per day and like get it done in a week? Or do I try and get more done per day? I think I should probably the first day just try their recommended like chunk and see how long it takes me to get through that recommended chunk. Because that's going to sort of tell me how long I'll be stuck reading it. But there is that. So I'm setting that off to the side now. I did go back and I've updated the Christmas present log pages of like which presents I have already received and like who I am like done either shopping or making for. So the nephews should be done, but let's be honest, there's probably going to be something else we find for them. And I was calculating how many brooms I've actually already made, and it's probably more than I need for like gifts. So that's fine. Of course, I have more stuff to make in terms of like I want to make mud brooms just because it's kind of fun, but I have all I need, I think, for gifting for this holiday season, which is nice because that means I'm done with that kind of like I don't have to worry. So yeah, CB is here. Hello, welcome. You're about 90 to 95% sure you broke your left ankle last September after losing a heated argument with a half a flight of stairs. Yeah. Megan took the dogs out that sprint, made yourself a snack, and then stared angrily at the discussion question responses from your peers, which refused to respond to themselves on your behalf. What now? So, like the discussion, they're not answering the discussion question? Or the discussion board is not allowing you to post, or you are not allowing yourself to post what you would like to say to your to your cohort. Oh, you wanted the discussion question to write itself. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Stacy was at a birthday party for your grandpa. He turns 94 tomorrow. Oh, nice. Happy birthday. Yes, happy birthday, Grandpa. Exactly. Yeah, you wanted the discussion question to write itself or the responses. Yeah, that was one of the things I found highly lacking in the online courses that I have taken. Every online class that I have taken, the discussions have been absolute crap. There's definitely pluses to online schooling in that one, you don't have to necessarily leave the house, deal with traffic. If it's done correctly, the expectations are very clear and laid out for you, and you can go at them at the pace that suits you. But the discussion was always like really crap, because you always had people who were just like, they were trying to be as vague as possible because they didn't actually read the material, where they just like Googled some synopsis of stuff and like whatever. And then you have to, because usually one of the part of the discussion board, whatever, is that you are graded on your responses to others. So it always really pays to be like one of the first ones to post, because then people like will post in response to you, but also like, but then you have to wait for somebody else to post an actually intelligent response to the literature so that you can respond to it. And then I always treated my discussion posts as sort of like one-page response, one-page literature reviews or literature critiques or whatever. That's just how I have always, like, typically that's what's specified is you're supposed to be doing in the discussion post. And then they're like, oh, how do you come up with this stuff? I'm like, because I actually read the material. Duh. So online classes for me were always sort of like this exercise in absolute frustration with the discussion boards, because part of your grade hinges on the discussion board. And if none of your classmates are capable of discussing it, then that means that your grade then suffers, because you have to sit there and piecemeal something worthwhile to respond to in their discussion. And it's just, there were so many weeks there I was like waiting till the last minute to do my responses because there was nothing in the discussion board to respond to. Nothing. So frustrating. Anyway, 99% of your problem, your classmates are so insipid if they bother to do their homework at all, right? And you actually put effort in for some reason. Yeah, and then it just means that it's frustrating because you put the time and effort in, and then you're sitting there waiting for somebody else to have something to respond to. It's just annoying. So, your grandmother on your mother's side was 92 and she passed almost 10 years ago. She'd be 102 now. Yeah. I was my paternal grandparents were both in their early 80s when they passed. But they passed away when I was about 13 and 15. I think that's about right. And then my maternal grandparents were, I want to say 89, right around 89 when they passed. And then my great aunt Norma, who was the older sister of my grandfather, passed when she was 93. So, but that was all in the early 20s. So early COVID-ish stuff. It's like they just felt like dominoes. It was not a fun time. So Megan says, I don't mind it too much, the online schooling, as I'm not a social being. Yeah, which is great. That's the great thing about online, is because you don't have to. Like, but it could have been done, or it could be done better. Yeah, and that's how I feel about every online course. It's like, how, I don't know, but somehow the experience could be nicer. Yeah, and I always wondered, like, those really insipid responses, as you mentioned, like that you can tell that they have not read the material, that they have Googled a synopsis. They don't have any references at all to the actual text in them or to anything important that happened in them. You could tell they weren't touched by the material, like none of that kind of stuff. I always wondered what their grade was. I'm like, how are you passing this? Because it's very clear you did not do your homework. So I always wondered what their grades were. It's like, I just want to peek at the grade board. Like, I know I'm not supposed to be that nosy, but I really want to know. It's like, because if you're getting 100 for this insipid crap, why am I spending my effort doing it? So I'm just like, I want to know. Yeah. Anyway. Alexandria says, hello, everybody. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. I hope you are too. I hope you are too. I'm getting some stuff done in terms of preparation for next week. I'm hoping to get a little bit more done in terms of like outlining what I want to write this next week. But yeah. Megan says, my grandmother was 98 in 2015 when she passed. I loved hearing her stories of the past. It's probably a part of what inspired me to get into writing. Yeah. Did not see your paternal grandmother from 87 till 94 because of something your father did. Nikki says, random, but I've had a hard year. 2 family members have passed away. Yeah. Your grandmother, who is 91, she had something wrong with her stomach. She passed away on leap year, on leap day. And then your cousin's ex-wife passed away 2 weeks later. Oh, I'm sorry. That is hard. I'm sorry, especially second one by their own hand. Yeah. That's always there's a lot to unravel there. Yeah. So I'm very sorry you've had a hard year. Very sorry. Megan says, I can tell which students use ChatGPT all the time. Yeah. One student who used ChatGPT no longer posts in class. I wonder what happened there. I wonder if they got booted because of plagiarism and AI use policy in the syllabus. Was using ChatGPT in your syllabus? I wonder this. Can you tell us if ChatGPT and use of AI was included in your syllabus, like as not allowed, or did they just skim over that and not bother? I'm curious. Nikki says, if that triggered someone, I didn't mean to. Yeah, understandable. Yeah. Yep. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get to the second sprint. We're going to use the 30-minute sweater weather new timer. And it is audio, same style, just a different sweater weather lady. Part of you hopes so, in terms of the person no longer being there. Using ChatGPT and AI is banned for each assignment because some assignments allow you to use AI. Oh, interesting. So are they allowing you the use of AI for like data gathering, or like what kind of assignment allows you to use AI? So they have to do it by assignment. Interesting. That's usually to make a point about how terrible AI is. Gotcha. You've been using AI to take some notes for you because you can't give. Yeah, and that's fine because that's not a generative thing. So, but for like, write my assignment for me. Yeah, no, that's not good. So I fully accept, like, boil this down to the necessary points. That's great. But don't have it write your stuff for you. We had one discussion question where we had to have ChatGPT generate a response 3 times and then post it to make a point about plagiarism. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So did you have to go and then like find where it was stealing the information from, or I'm just now curious. I'm just all up in your business, all up in your homework. Oh, because almost everyone got the same response. Interesting. Interesting. Fascinating. All right, let's do this. So 1, save your document. I have not added any words to mine yet, but I'll save it anyway. 2, make sure that you take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back. That posture check. Make sure that you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. Sweater weather timer, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I forgot to turn the camera back on. Okay, so I managed to get 418 words. I also created a little tracker that I need to stick in to my notebook. Anyway, so for the book that I want to read this week. I just want to make a note of how many pages are in each of these sections. Okay. And I'm just going to set that in my notebook. Maybe at some point I'll glue it down or stick it in with some washi tape or something. But for right now, it's just stuck in there. Okay, so I managed to get 418 words of like what scenes in which stories I'm going to be working on this week. So that's exciting. Sort of prepping for all of that. Now I'm going to put in, there's the second sprint, 418. Okay. Okay. Okay, there. Stephanie, hello. You're finally able to use your laptop. Yay. After finally getting internet at the new place. So expect me to show up at more live streams. Yay. Congrats. Ashley says, my favorite writing rule to break is having multiple POVs in one scene. Gotcha. Do you typically have like a little break and then use like switch to somebody else's action, or are you just in general like omniscient narrator? Your readers still seem to care or notice. Gotcha. 477 for me. Nice. Excellent. CB read some stuff. Excellent. Good. I hope stuff gets entertaining. Okay. So I feel like I got a little bit done and like that's good, but I feel like I didn't get much done compared to some of my other sessions. I'm like, yeah, 1,000 words each time, and not at the moment. Again, this may be due to the new attempting to like outline everything I'm working on that I'm going to work on in the week on Sunday, and then trying to fulfill that during the week. I don't know if it's working or not. But again, this is the second week I've tried to do something like this, so we shall see. CB says, I have multiple POVs in one chapter, but I tag them and I have no idea, not technically minded or trained on how to fix it. And you know what? Don't care. That's okay. That's okay. If you have it tagged, that lets people know. And lets yourself know. All right. I guess I just kind of want to dive back in. So I think that's what we're going to do. Also, don't forget, since that was the second sprint, if you had anything to self-promo, again, make sure you pop that in the chat. If you are also not subscribed to the people that you go to the sprints for, make sure you're subscribed to the hosts, and also make sure that you are subscribed to those that you frequently see in the chats with you. Megan says, I worked on the discussion responses that sprint. Nice. You finished one response, so one to go. Hey, you're halfway there, which is great. It's great. All right, that's third sprint. or we are going to the third sprint. Do y'all like the sweater weather timers, or do you want to swap to the bird song? What you think? Another sweater weather or bird song? Let's see. The first 6 chapters of the new version of Star for President are up. Nice. Excellent. Stephanie says, I worked on creating my chapter header images and then on to more edits. Your least favorites. And you vote for birdsong. Alrighty. We will swap to the birdsong. It is a little quieter, so you need some concentration. All right. Let's do this. Somewhere it says I have a new tab. Where do I have a new tab for? I don't know. There's nothing there. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do this. 1, save your document and all of its wonderful progress. 2, make sure that you take a sip if you haven't done so in a while. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back. That posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. How we doing? Um, okay. Sorry, my brain was in between thoughts. Okay, so I'm now up to 1,019, 1,119, excuse me, 1119. So I think I got about 600 words, something like that. Minus 701 words, which is much better. Much better. 701, not 107. There we go. Okay, so I did comment in here. So this was I had a brain moment where I was like, I wonder what the Pantone color of the year is for 2025. Maybe I could do something with my bullet journal, like color scheme in the beginning of the, so I went and looked it up, but they are not releasing the 2025 color for another like 25 days. So, can't choose anything based on that just yet. Megan says, oh yeah, be sure that you're subscribed to Megan wherever you like, because Megan has plans for next year. So here is Megan's link tree. This was where I was like, what do you think the color of next year is going to be? This year was apparently peach fuzz, which I had never heard about. So I don't know if I just like missed that, or it was like so weird of a choice that nobody talked about it. So yeah, I don't know. You hope it's something fun this year, this coming year. Yeah. You want something vibrant. Yeah. Agreed. CB says still reading. Brain isn't cooperating today. Oh no. Megan finished the discussion responses. You got to vent about your dislike of Nebraska. Nice. Now you're working on econ. Excellent. I think no one talked about it because I didn't hear about it either. Yeah, that's it. So I looked it up. And then I was like, well, what was 2023? I don't know if I think I remember. Ooh, okay, what is it doing? Here we go. So, and I don't know if this is the Pantone US. So I don't know if there's a different Pantone Europe, Pantone Canadian. I don't know. I don't know if it's different. But anyway, so peach fuzz is this sort of that color. But it's odd because all of the pictures that they have also includes this like bit of blue in it. So I'm like, so is it just this pinky peachy color, or is it the pinky peach with some sort of like blue in it? I don't know. Anyway, so 2023 was apparently Viva Magenta. 2022 was very Perry. I remember us having a conversation about if periwinkle was more blue or more purple. So I remember talking about that one. Gray was apparently 2021, or was it gray and yellow? So like they had two in the contrast. Color of the year 2021, ultimate gray and illuminating. So this 2021 was a weird year and then it was two colors. That's odd. Classic blue for 2020, and then living coral, so another sort of like orangey color, but again with the blue is the concept. Then a purple, then a green. So it's been a couple years since they've had like a proper green. Then here's another where that like it's the two. Yeah, here's another. So 2016 they had two, rose quartz and serenity. So like a pink and a blue. Which doesn't this pink look so much like the peach fuzz that they're saying is for 2025? And then this is very close to. It's like a red, but it's like a purpley red. So they had a pink and a magenta, and then they had a purplier Then they had a green. So I think it might be a green next year. What do you think? Because they had peachy, magenta maroony, blue yellow, blue orangey, purple, green. So I think it's been a while since there's been a green one. Either green or yellow. I'm thinking green though. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there were a couple years in there had two. And I had never heard of there being two colors before. So that's weird. It's a little less orangey. Yeah. It was a little light. Yeah, Pantone is BS anyway. Yeah, it is very corporate marketing. Yes. Doesn't mean I don't love it, but that's what it is. Yes. Stephanie's like, well, I've never heard of it till you asked the question. So there's that. Yeah. And I don't remember where I think I remember hearing vaguely somebody talking about fashion. And they were talking about one of the colors that kept popping up on the runway being like the Pantone color of the year. I was like, what's that? So I think that was where, and I don't even know why I was listening to fashion stuff, but like, yeah. So Megan says, I know about it because I was a graphic design major for the first time I went to college. Yeah, which makes sense. CV says, I love that less orangey pale pink color, the rose quartzy one, I think. Anyway, that was sort of a distraction. So I pulled that up to share my distraction with you because. So, okay, we've got one more sprint, I think. Another full length sprinty sprint. But not gonna lie, my attention, I think, is starting to wane. You couldn't tell. But at the same time, I got more words that time. So I don't know, maybe distraction is good for my brain sometimes. Sometimes. Not always, sometimes. I think that's what color I wanted my phone to be, but it was more expensive, so you got the blue one. Oh, interesting. I apparently have a dark blue one. I forget when I had my old phone, when I took the OtterBox off of it, I was like, oh, that's right. I got the rose pink one because that was what they had in stock. I was like, I don't care. So, because I always just like cover it with an OtterBox because I know that I am going to drop it and I would rather have it be protected than have it be pretty. So there we go. I'm going to spend that much money on a piece of technology. It's going to be protected because I am clumsy and I cannot be bothered to like try and protect the phone with just a whim and a hope. So you wanted the red and then they didn't have in stock. So the rose gold is your other iPad. Gotcha. You have an Avengers cover on my phone. Yeah. I mean, I saw some really cute covers at the AT&T store. But like, I was just like, I must protect. And the OtterBoxes, unfortunately, do not come cute. They come sturdy. So, but yeah. So OtterBox, Gorilla, what's the other brand? Gorilla Case? Something like that. If they made some cute ones, I would absolutely buy the cute and tough, but maybe at some point their marketing will understand that. I don't know. All right, let's do another sprint. I will probably disappear to use the restroom at some point this sprint because I have consumed most of my tea. There's like 3 or 4 gulps left. So I will consume that at the beginning of the sprint. Okay, so let's do one more sprint. So 1, save your document. 2, make sure that you take a sip of whatever it is you're hydrating with. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine or roll your shoulders back. That posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4, make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Ooh, yes, make yourself a hot cider. Absolutely. Also, how's your boyfriend today? Is he feeling a little bit better? I can't believe it took me that long to ask you. 30 minutes. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I did finally make it to 2000. I am at 2106. So I finally made it to 2000 today, which is great. So I got 987 that time, which felt like pulling teeth there at the end. I was like, am I going to make it? Anyway, so 987 words, expanding on the outline and sort of like the scenes I need for this next week, sort of some dialogue that came to mind, that kind of stuff. So I will have to reference back to this document throughout the week, trying to make sure I get all of that kind of stuff done. So I'm going to save my document. And yeah, so that is the 4th sprint. Megan's boyfriend is about to be discharged, so he is doing better. They still aren't sure what's wrong with him, but his kidneys are functioning like they should again, which is a relief. So I'm glad he's doing better. Scary that his kidneys stopped functioning temporarily, but I'm glad that his kidneys are working again. CB said, I read some old stuff that I wrote. There's one part where Harry calls Dumbledore a son of a witch. Nice. Sorry, I'm also getting pictures from family. So, excellent. All right, so I forgot on Friday to end the poll. So I'm trying hard to remember. But anyway, when it comes to our favorite writing rules to break, sentence structure rules and guidelines, using said or different kind of dialogue tags, whether you include prologues when people sort of are very dismissive of prologue, and then passive and active voice. We have switched from the beginning of the stream, and the top choice is actually the said or dialogue tags at 42%, followed by sentence structure rules at 35%, and then prologues at 21%, and nobody picked passive active voice. I should have put punctuation instead, but I flubbed. So tomorrow's, Mondays, is what's included in your character profiles. So if you have a tendency to create character profile pages for your main characters, for your side characters, villains, what kind of details do you tend to include? So that's that. I'm going to save my document again because I don't trust it. All right. Thank you very much for joining me today. Nikki wants to know, do they think he had a stone or something? I'm not sure. I think they still aren't sure what's wrong. Yeah. Because I know you had said he was feeling poorly, so you had to take him to the ER and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully they come up with a reasonable answer at some point, because it's scary having something of that, like, just like all of a sudden random, and you go to the doctors and they don't know why. It's scary not to have a reason for it, because then you're left with, well, is it going to happen again? So I'm hoping that it was just a one-off fluke, but you would always like to have some answers as to why. So anyway, thank you again for joining me, and I will hopefully see y'all tomorrow. All right, don't forget to save and stretch and sip and all the good things. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.